Hey Jack, after your last start, when you kind of start to realize that you and Lucas might face off against each other, and what has this past week been like? I guess in the lead up, kind of getting ready for it.
Probably took about probably an hour after game time, or hour after the game was over. I saw he pitched earlier that day, and I wasn't sure what their schedule was because if he was thrown on 5 days rest or whatnot, then I saw that they had the off day the next day too. So I reached out to him and just saw what was up. It's like, are you throwing on Tuesday? Because because I got told I was throwing on Tuesday, and so then I was like, okay, well, there might be a chance. And so once that happened, it was like, all right, this will be cool. It's gonna be fun. Just been kind of excitement over it. I mean, it's obviously it's gonna be fun throwing against him, but in terms of the week's preparation, everything's been the same. Nothing changes.
I guess that's kind of the thing is you prepare for White Sox hitters, but at the same time there is kind of this also looming over is the excitement of that, and but also trying to stay focused for a good team in the White Sox.
I mean, it's not hard to stay focused if you're going about your preparation, you're going about your work. Nothing about that part changes. It's just the only thing different is the guy on the mound on the other side who I won't really even watch. I hope we get him. I hope we score some runs off of him, the way we normally would. It's going to be one of those things.
Have you guys heard from Max at all about him kind of being missing out on this duel, or is there a hope that maybe one day in the future will be all three of you guys kind of facing off at least once?
I mean, it's I don't know what you're saying. It's kind of impossible for all three of us to kind of face off in one game at the same time.
No, just in different moments in your career.
Yeah, obviously we all want to go against each other. Max and I've had like a small little one, but never a full game. But it's a cool thing to go against people and some guys you've known since high school that you went to school with like that.
Katie Wu, The Athletic.
I think were you freshman when Lucas was a senior, right, in high school?
I was sophomore when they were both seniors.
I'm not good at math, that's why I asked. What was the camaraderie like between you two? What was that like when you guys were, like, the relationship between you two in high school?
Well, Lucas was he was one of the first guys that when I was a freshman, he was a junior. He was one of the first guys to introduce himself to me. He doesn't remember that, I do. And then I kind of went with him everywhere. He was one of the guys that gave me rides wherever I needed it, whether it was to practice or when we played games on the weekends. My mom would always take me. Sometimes I'd stay with him and he'd drive me, he'd take me. So it was one of those things. I was always close with him. Max much in the same once he got there, but Lucas started as a freshman in my sophomore year. We were close. He took me pretty much everywhere.
How often did you guys stay in contact through each level of progression through your careers?
All the time. It was pretty much nonstop. I mean, we all worked out together for the first. For my first 2.5 years in pro ball, we all worked out together. Throw together whenever it's possible. But it's been nonstop. So, just to have that opportunity to be fun.
Do you still stay in contact with your high school coach? And if so, has he reached out at all?
I told him, I was the first one. I told him, I said, me and Lucas are there on Tuesday, and I told him he better be out here. So we'll see if he ends up making the trip or not. I have not heard whether or not he will.
Thank you.
Jeff Jones, Belleville News Democrat.
Hey, Jack, when was the last time you pitched against Lucas, if you ever have? Was there even I don't even know, like an inter-squad scrimmage or like a travel ball game, anything where you've ever faced off with him in the past?
Not that I can think of. I don't think I've ever pitched against him. Not even in like an inter-squad or something like that I can really think of pitching against him. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the first time you saw him pitch? Was it in high school, or did you know him even before that?
No, the first time I saw him pitch was in high school. I don't remember it. I don't remember him. I can remember meeting him, but I don't remember the first time I ever watched him throw. I just know I didn't know anything about him or, that like who he was or what he was going to end up being. I was very unaware at that time.
Jim Hayes, Valley Sports Midwest.
Hey Jack, how are you?
Jim.
Hey, you're kind of known as a guy who maintains focus as well as anyone, you know, even when you were a much younger guy. But the fact that you're facing your friend, high school, does this game have more emotion tied to it for you?
Not emotion, maybe a little bit more fun in terms of that. You know, it's going to be interesting. Or it'll be one of those things, being out there warming up before the game, and you know, sometimes you look over and you see who you're pitching against and you see their warm up, and you see that, and you know, it's gonna be one of those. I'll probably laugh for a split second or whatnot, and seeing him, and then seeing you know, my high school pitching coach over there too. So it's gonna be one of those things. Probably laugh a little bit, but yeah, that'll be the biggest part of it, is that warm up, playing catch in the outfield before it's, you know, it's really go time.
Is this something you guys had discussed when you were here, that one day you would meet up against each other in Major League Baseball?
I think definitely one day, you know, I'll be in the big leagues between the three of us. In terms of matching up, I don't know if that was ever. I think it was more of a conversation, you know, Max versus Lucas. But you know, and hopefully that happens at some point. But you know, it's gonna be fun. It doesn't take away from any focus or anything or any. You know, it's still, we want to go out and win the game. We want to go out and win tonight. We want to go out and win tomorrow. Win each and every game. So it doesn't change any of that.
Thank you.
All right, Hall of Fame writer Rick Hummel of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Jack, we know how much you like to bat when you're pitching. You going to miss that tomorrow?
Absolutely. He tried to tell me that he wishes he was hitting in this game, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I wanted to get in there and face him, because it's been a while since I've faced him. So, yeah, I wish this was different circumstances. I could get in there against him.
You mentioned your high school pitching coach in a recent answer you gave there. Could you go over that a second?
Yeah, I mean, that was like their pitching coach was our high school pitching coach,
Right.
as well. Okay. So he's somebody I've been in contact with all the time for years. He was there until my junior year. He was there for Max and Lucas, and now he's their guy. So it's gonna be fun to see him. He's gonna try to get me out of what I do. I know he's gonna try to talk to me and just come out there and see me before the game. But yeah.
It's not going to work, huh?
Of course not.
Thank you.
Ryan McGuffey, NBC Sports Chicago.
Yeah, Jack, I actually wanted to ask you about, you know, it's not going to affect how you pitch or anything, but to have the uniqueness of Ethan be across the dugout. Your high school coach actually is flying in for the game, so we took you up on that offer. We talked to him. So to have all of those intangibles and that support system throughout at a game like this, and I'm sure you'll catch up with them after the game, what is that support like to have in a game like this?
It's rare. I think it's just super rare to everybody coming from, you know, the same high school. You know, coach coming out, and then, you know, with Ethan on the other side, it's just pretty cool. It's something that I don't know when that's ever happened, if it'll ever happen again. So it's just pretty cool, and it's something that I you know, during the game I'm gonna try to enjoy it for part of the process, and make sure that, you know, I still enjoy it. You know, you enjoy those moments and understand what is going on and what it is. So yeah.
Thank you.
Derek Gold, St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
It's tough to follow Ryan. Always tough to follow Ryan, but good to see him. Hey, Jack, I hope I have this, if I remember this correctly. I remember talking to Lucas at the All-Star game a few years ago, and he said one of the things that really struck him about you was your command of, or your feel for four pitches. And if he could borrow something from you, it was that kind of array and trust you had in four pitches. And I know that you and Max talk about kind of pitch crafting and how to work on things. What would you take from Lucas if you could kind of put together a super Harvard-Westlake pitcher composite? What would you take from him?
I mean, there's a lot you could take from him. I mean, you could take his build. I mean, the dude's 6'6", you know, 2 whatever, but he's a large dude, a big human. You know, I like, most of the time when I'm in a room, I feel like I'm pretty sizable, and I get next to him, and you know, my mom even says it. She's like, you know, you guys just look small next to him. no matter how else you look near most other people, he just looks bigger. So, his build, his mentality where he trusts his stuff, he throws his stuff over the plate. He's like, here it is and hit it. And then that changeup, that Bugs Bunny changeup that he's got, I'd love to be able to have that and add that.
When you kind of made the shift in 2019 and you talked a lot about trusting your stuff, was that something you talked to Lucas about then, or you just knew from watching him and kind of adopted?
I mean, that's just, those are adjustments that you make as you understand, what's kind of going right, what's going wrong, and those were things that were adjusted. I was obviously in contact with him and a bunch of other people during that time.
Thanks, Jack.
Katie, one more.
If you don't mind, I was wondering if you talked to Dylan. So Dylan and Nick Magical were high school teammates too, and they both played under Dylan's dad, Jeff. So it's kind of like a bunch of reunions. Have you had a conversation with him about that and just like the weirdness of it all happening right now?
I haven't, but that's really interesting. I didn't know that him and Nick were teammates. So
yeah, they were with Davey Davis.
No, I haven't talked to him about that at all. I haven't had a chance.
They're like 6 of them.
Yeah, I know that they've got a bunch from that high school up there. I know that they've got a bunch that came out of there, but no, I'm sure it'll be cool for him to catch up.
Right.
Lucas, what's it going to be like for you to go against Jack in your game? And did you guys ever talk about this as kids, or as later on when you started playing professional ball?
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that we talked about in high school and then in the minor leagues. Like, it's gonna be cool when we get to face each other. The one thing going my way is we're playing at our park, so I don't have to step in the box against him. He doesn't have to step in the box against me. He has a lot more experience swinging the bat than I do. He just hit his first homer, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or so. So I'm glad that we got the DH in. But yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. It's the first time, like, from the three of us, and Max included, we get to face off. So it should be pretty fun. There's a lot of friends and family and stuff coming out for it too.
What about having more fans now at the park and the energy you could get from that?
Yeah, what was it? It was up to 50% or 60 or something like that. 60. Yeah. So the more fans, the better. That's always how I've viewed it. Our fans can get pretty loud. They're very into the game, and I'm sure a bunch of them are kind of going to know the history of me and Jack and everything. So it should just be like a really exciting night tomorrow night at the ballpark. We're all looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
James. James.
You don't have any desire to kind of step in against them at all?
Not particularly. I mean, I think if the opportunity presented itself, it'd be pretty fun, but I think it's going to be an easier introduction where I can just focus on the pitching side, if that makes sense. Anytime I have to hit, it's a little bit different from our normal routine. I always have fun with it, and I think it's a blast, but I don't know, like stepping into the box and I make a face at him or something like that, that'd be pretty funny. But I don't know, maybe for the first one, get it out of the way, just focus on the pitching side and let our respective offenses do what they do.
You've talked in the past about, it's always exciting to play in games where you're facing top pitchers in the league like Bieber or anybody else. Does this have an extra degree of that level of wanting to compete with somebody who you're friends with or your teammate, or is it just kind of you're facing a great pitcher?
I mean, it's kind of like the same as when I get to face like other really good pitchers around the league. But I don't know, at the same time, like, I just think it's an exciting and like really fun moment for both of us. And at the end of the day, like once the game starts, like we're going to be focused on what we need to do. I'm not really going to be paying attention to his pitching while I'm pitching. I'm just going to be hoping that we're scoring a lot of runs.
Bruce Levine.
Lucas, what was the team competition like between you and him? And I guess you could throw Max in, but I mean, obviously you were teammates, you rooted each other on, but wasn't there always that competition to be the best of the group?
Yeah, I'd say it was like friendly competition. Like we wanted to see all of us, everyone succeed on our team. Like not just between me, Max, and Jack, but the other guys on our high school team as well. We put in a lot of work. We pushed each other with the work we were doing on a daily basis. But I don't think there was any point where we were like, oh, like I want to finish with better numbers than that guy on my team. We just were trying to focus on winning games and throwing the ball well and then getting drafted high.
Who was Ethan's favorite?
I don't think that he has one, nor even if he did, he's not going to tell you, and I don't know.
Did you guys kid around about that at all, or he likes you better, just in the fun that you guys had all the time?
Well, he did come over to coach over here, so maybe that says something.
Merrick?
Hey, Lucas, I know your preparation and your intensity out there, but can you have a little bit of fun with this, even, as part of your job going against your friend, or can you not let that kind of seep in when you're out there competing?
I think it's going to be fun. Like I said before, anytime I'm pitching against a guy like Bieber or DeGrom or Flaherty, like it adds fun for me. A lot of people will say like, oh, it's like more pressure. It's, a top pitcher going against us, stuff like that. But I find it to be more fun because it's like, all right, get up for this game and do everything I can to give us the best possible chance to win it. And I that's how I feel about it going in. Like when it comes time to step between the lines, small warm up, get going in the game, like that's all I'm focused on is, trying to put up zeros and give our team the best chance. It's more like this before stuff, taking pictures with Jack and Ethan and stuff earlier today. That's the stuff that I kind of get to sit back and enjoy.
Lamont?
Hey, Lucas, when did you first realize that this matchup might take place, and how would you describe the season that Jack's having?
Well, his season's absolutely spectacular. Starting off undefeated. Hopefully we give him his first one tomorrow. And it was, I think right after my game, my last one, he shot me a text like, are you going Tuesday? And I was like, yep, that's what I'm slated for. And he was like, and then I kind of looked at his schedule. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it was like 5 days ago.
Jesse?
I don't think you answered this. Any friendly bets on punch outs or who wins the game? Anything at stake between the two of you?
No, nothing like that. No betting in baseball if you're a player.
Vinny?
Lucas, we've talked to you so much about, your own evolution over the course of your big league career. Has Jack talked to you? Have you guys had any conversations over the years, kind of helping each other along with where you guys are in baseball?
Oh yeah. I mean, since we were kids, we have a very, very strong relationship and it runs from friendship to teammate and being in pro ball, obviously different organizations, but getting together in the off season, working on things. I've asked him plenty of questions about his slider in the past. He's asked me questions about my changeup, and kind of watching each other, all that kind of stuff. We've been doing that forever.
Would you say that he's helped you in certain ways and that you've helped him in certain ways become better pitchers?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it started when we were in high school and, he was 2 years younger than me. So No, I think there was a few things I might have shown him early, and then he really rose to prominence. And you know, I was in the minor leagues before he was, you know, talking with him about that, and then he really turned it on to the point where then I'm asking him, okay, like, what are you doing to be so consistent and so successful? So, yeah, I mean, always having those kinds of conversations.
Daryl?
Lucas, I know you're probably going to have to be at your best to beat him. You feel like in your last start you kind of turned a corner there? There was some actual significance to what you were able to do against Minnesota.
Yeah, that last one early on, I'm still kind of feeling things out. You know, I led off 2 innings with walks, and then as the game went on, everything started to kind of fall into place, and it's like, okay, cool. You know, here we are. And you know, anytime I have a game where it's like I'm throwing harder, I'm feeling stronger as the game goes on, that shows me that I'm like right where I need to be. And so credit to Ethan and all the work we've been putting in on the side the last couple weeks to clean up a few things, and I'm feeling very good right now.
Bruce?
Lucas, would you mind sharing what the relationships are like between the families? You already told us that family members from both sides are going to be there, and you know, how much more special does that make the whole event than knowing that you know, people are showing up, making this a big deal?
Yeah, I mean, I call her Mama Flair, Eileen, Jack's mom. Absolutely love her, adore her. She was at every single game in high school. She'd bring us brownies. They're like famous around the Harvard-Westlake parts. And so, you know, same kind of goes for my side. My parents love Jack. And yeah, I mean, we're all so close, and it's just like kind of what I've been saying here. Like, I think it's just a very cool moment. Like, it was going to happen eventually between the 3 of us. Like, we're eventually going to have to line up at some point. And so this is the first time, hopefully, of very many over the next 10 to 15 years. And I think that, you know, it's just kind of going to be a moment for our families and friends, you know, old teammates from our high school days, coaches, you know, our head coach at the time, he's an athletic director now at Harvard-Westlake, Matt LaCour, he's flying out. So yeah, I think it's just a lot of fun, pretty big deal for, you know, all of us. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.